Hello, 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 hello. Well, good morning, listeners. Welcome back to the second episode of Much Ado About Nothing. Today's topic is from Quirks to Queries. Here we see how small observations can lead to big questions about life and existence. Um, let's discuss about some very common quirks in everyday life. Um, like why we always seem to misplace our keys, for example, why time feels like it flies on weekends. Human perception, as one great scientist said, is highly subjective. So it's like sitting next to a pretty person or um, in a boring situation. The way time flies is highly relative, and our memory is kind of trained to focus more on certain things which matter more, and um, kind of ensures that we remember or forget things. Usually, sleep does that cleanup job. It's like in the older days when you used to defragment the disk and clean up disk of computers, maybe human brain as well. Um, the butterfly effect in daily life. There are some tiny decisions that we take, or as creatures of habit, these decisions or these actions are kind of an innate compulsion, and these events or these actions kind of impact how larger outcomes happen in life, in relationships, in personal growth. Uh, small, um, small effects in science. We can call it as a perturbation theory or a butterfly effect here, but from very simple observations of it can, if you see, for example, uh, a very mundane thing like a row of ants, and put ourselves in the shoes of a person who doesn't know that rain is about to come, then it's just the power of observation that whenever the ants are taking their food to a safer place or moving to a different place, usually rain is around the corner. It was it was understood pretty late that their mustaches get wet, and they get to know that, oh, the rain is about to come, and they just move to a safer place. Um, there are some philosophical ponderings as well. Um, how our life takes a change for difference. Um, how nature is resilient. Um, from it again, as some very random quirks. If you remember during pandemic, um, the level of pollution had come so down that we could see mountains far away. Some animals had wandered into the city in different places. I remember especially cities like Tokyo, I guess. I don't remember exactly. In Japan, where deers had come out and in search of food and I guess meeting people. So it kind of shows nature's resilience of taking back. Once few humans got back in the home, the nature embraced us back. And kind of curiosity remains a catalyst in terms of any observations or groundbreaking discoveries. Um, when a gentleman called Newton had some free time due to outbreak of disease, an apple fell and the rest is history. That that led to the theory of gravity. So, but of course, there is more to that. That there is a intention to always analyze any observation, to lead an observation to a conclusion, to have scientific rigor of evaluation. Of course, a lot of, even before large telescopes were discovered, scientists lying on the sands on this, not scientists, people lying on the cool wet sands next to rivers or next to oceans would look up in the sky in the night, and in a clear sky in the night, and they would see stars, and then maybe they will make some shapes out of it, out of sheer boredom. So you would have names like Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, because they would see a bear or a bear in the shape of stars. In India, the concept of Saptarshi Mandal, that these seven stars or the sickle, it's said globally, or Saptarshi Mandal in India. Then we called Dhruv Tara. So these are all observations from curiosity, which serving as a catalyst. So very very essential that any quirks that we see or that we observe, they lead to queries, and then that help us reveal uh, some mysteries, some beautiful theories of nature or how things work. Most also these quirks or queries come from just human nature of trying to figuring stuff out. The quest for why I am here, the quest for curiosity to know about the reason of their existence. That also helps humans to figure things out. And of course, there are some people who say that we live in a simulation, so there's no point in figuring things out, or there is a concept of absurdism. I don't know if it is, then is that nothing is irrational, so there is no point in rationalizing the irrational. So that's again a school of thought. But just trying to figure things out or trying to understand why things work, it's kind of curious. It brings a lot of fun. And we see that and we see the joy of figuring things out, or the natural urge to know something very high in kids actually. So as we would have seen very frequently is when a new TV comes to the home. Again, I'm talking of the bit older days when there used to be those big remotes with like 1,000 buttons, and the parent would usually tell the kid to not touch those remotes, and because those remotes or the system will break or something, but the kid would invariably go around fiddling with the remote and will figure out things, a lot of things. Will figure out how the buttons work, and very soon one day the parents or the guardians would come back home tired from the work, and they would still be fiddling with the remote, how to change the channel or get to something, and the kid will be immediately will be able to do that because the kid has been playing with the remote. So kid has figured out how to do stuff, right? So that innate curiosity, which it's like comes along with the box, if I can use the word, it comes naturally to humans. We get lesser and lesser curious because there is um, the effort of tinkering with things which are working, or the desire to tinker alter things which are working is goes lower and lower. We just want stability um, and kind of steadiness. So that's the reason as we grow up, we might avoid trying to figure things out. We avoid trying to try new things, But that's where as Virginia Rametti, previous CEO of IBM, said that comfort and growth doesn't coexist. One always needs to be a bit beyond their comfort zone. They need to push the envelope to understand that maybe let's try and reach out and see if things work, or maybe things don't work. The podcasts that I do are often, I'm not the best podcaster in the world, 100% sure, but they're all trying to figure things out, how things work, and playing with technology, playing with podcasting, playing with topics. So it's just my humble attempt to try to push for things and try to create useful content for you. Finally, on the topic of curiosity and kind of serving as a catalyst is you would see maybe in Apple stores. I guess in the older days, I'm not too sure recently, but in the older days, Apple staff would literally put those Apple stuff which are there in the store, like iPads and phones, and they would love to see people come and fill things because it's a good way of looking at how humans interact with technology, So and then tailor the product to meet the needs of humans. Human-centered design or design thinking is also about meeting humans where they are. It's about maybe the development of Apple Pencil, which was resisted a lot by the founders of Apple, who thought that that human finger is the best stylus in the world as compared to an Apple Pencil. So again, looking at curiosity, trying to figure things out, looking at our own nature, and then trying to adapt, and using curiosity as a way to as a catalyst to help the human race move ahead, kind of resembles the core theme from Quirks to Queries, because the moment you ask question, then you start to learn, or then you start to unravel things, and that shows that you have tried to process something. So some personal stories maybe on how a small observation or small event led to a change in this is again assuming that human perceptions are so different. So there was a young lady in my team, and who had just joined in and was in the early stages of her career, and so I didn't know that suppose one day she had come up dressed in a sari, and everyone in the team was wishing her happy birthday. I didn't know when her birthday was, but I just went to her and also wished her a very happy birthday because everyone else was wishing her. But then she told me it's not her birthday, and I said okay. I apologized and I said maybe. She said she is wearing a sari because that makes her look a bit older, so that the clients, the clients of the software company where we work, would take her seriously. Otherwise, she appeared too young for clients to take her seriously, and I was shocked. Of course, me and the leadership of the company had a conversation with the client and the stakeholders at the client side, but very simple observation kind of, or small kind of event, it led to significant changes in my in the way how I reflect about life and how people are handling. I also ensured that I become more approachable, more accessible for people to come and tell me their issues, so that maybe I can take a stab at resolving them rather than people trying to solve them on their own. But of course, I've always given freedom to my team members to take a call on how they want to work and and also how they want to progress in their career. But it's a small personal anecdote, a personal story, when a small offhand observation or a small event, it led to significant changes. Finally, as we come to the close, um, the biggest questions of the life often start with the smallest curiosity. So I would encourage you folks, the listeners, to notice the quirks around you. Let your mind wander towards the bigger and existential questions. And as Neil deGrasse Tyson says, keep looking up. Peace out.